and welcome to Fortune's Hiding Down Under TV. You are with me, Ryan, and we have got Guy. So Guy is from the Adelaide Hammers. So basically what we're going to do today, we're doing a new little take and a new little show. And I want to bring in, as this is predominantly was for an Australian West Ham demographic, we're going to bring in some state members of different groups and just get their take on how things are going in their state, on how they get on their meets, friendships they've made from it, and just talk about how hard it is actually trying to get people together. But Guy, I'll just introduce you, mate. I met this guy in Perth. We played on the same fan 11 against Spurs. Unfortunately, we lost, but that's when I met this man. And yeah, Guy, tell us a little bit about yourself, mate, and how you become West Ham fan.
Thanks for having me on anyway, mate. Yeah, so my parents are both born in the UK. So my dad's from a little place called Dottinghurst in Essex. And my mum was born in West Ham as well. So they sort of like,
hell.
Yeah. So proper on my birth certificate and all. So, so they moved over to Australia, I think when they're in the sort of mid-20s, around that sort of stage. My dad grew up watching Chelsea for the first 10 years of his life and then sort of changed over to West Ham after that. So a bit of I don't know if I want to call it a blessing, but, I grew up, I guess, with my dad constantly watching West Ham, being West Ham mad, and just sort of fell into it myself as well. I think, it's just part of that culture, part of growing up in sort of a household with him, just always watching it, always being mad about it. And I think it's that struggle that I love about being a West Ham fan, the good, the bad, mainly the bad, but when the good comes, then it's amazing, isn't it? So yeah, like I'm wearing the my favorite kit today. I don't know if we didn't talk about this, but I'm wearing my favorite kit, the Tevez kit. Yeah, the Tevez away kit.
Love that one, mate.
Yeah, this is the first time I went to the UK.
Is that the original as well?
Yep. Yeah, original. Yep. So when that season occurred, I think I was maybe 10 at the time or 11 or something like that. And I was a bit old, maybe older. But either way, I obviously had a kit for like a child size. This is my dad's kit, which he doesn't fit into anymore. So,
you nicked it.
Yeah. I've been looking online to get like a proper fresh one. I wish I looked after it a little bit better, but yeah, look, that's like my story. I've just, ever since then I've been West Ham mad. It's, not a club you support when you want to see us win all the time. But like I said, it's about appreciating the community we've got and the fans and being a part of something, I guess, and hoping for good times, which I guess have occurred over the last 3 years now. So, yeah.
I think we'll take the good time so far, mate. So Chelsea, that's a bit of a mixed match there, mate.
Yeah.
West to east.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't get the full story on why. He was going with an uncle, I believe, because his dad was Tottenham and then his mum was Arsenal. So he ended up going with his uncle to Chelsea. And then I don't know why he converted. I mean, he was born in 1960, so I think early 70s. I think that's when he converted back over to West Ham. So I think that was a good sort of era coming through. And yeah, he sort of just he's been West Ham mad ever since, just like me. We did the New Zealand trip. Were you in Australia then? You would have been in the UK.
I was, but I was actually waiting for a visa, so you couldn't leave the country and come back in. So I couldn't go. So I actually watched that in the Pig and Whistle where we do our shows. But yeah, unfortunately, it looked like an amazing time. The New Zealand trip, apart from the games, obviously.
Yeah, it's bad when like Mauro Zarate is like the best player for those couple of days. So it was tragic. But I mean, look how far we've come. Like we're relying on like the shittest player. Well, not shittest, but we were. I think Gita Mel was maybe then. Like I think even Razavan Rat was around then. Like, and now we've got these like somewhat world class players. So it just goes to show.
It's mad to think actually when you say it like that, mate. What they brought to New Zealand compared to what they brought to Perth, player wise. That's pretty impressive, to be honest.
Yeah. Andy Carroll was a big shot, wasn't he? Like Andy Carroll, Downing was there. Obviously Noble was sort of in his mid-20s then. So not Carl Jenkinson. So not like a full
star-studded.
Nah, definitely not. Definitely loan signings. I mean, the whole lot. to now being where we are. It's just, it's great. I mean, it just gives us an opportunity, I guess, you've got to be able
Watch.
to compete, don't you?
Yeah, without a doubt. And if anyone can hear my my fan in the background, please tell me, because it is about fucking 45 degrees here in Queensland. I am sweating my bollocks off. So if it is too loud, let us know in the comments and I'll turn it off. But I'll probably lose about half a stone by doing that anyway. But here we go. Right. So, Guy, that leads us on nicely to where you are in the world, mate. So you're in Adelaide, yeah? How long are you born and bred?
Yeah, born and bred Adelaide. Parents actually went to Sydney first, then come over to Adelaide. I don't know, mid-90s, early 90s or something like that. So, yeah, been here ever since, stayed here. Adelaide's, what would we say, like it's sort of like a mid, or probably one of the least populated states, maybe. I don't know. It's probably at one point, not compared to like Brisbane, Perth. All the other ones have taken over. So,
just for the like listeners in the UK, obviously, like it is a small town, isn't it? It's probably what I'd probably say like Southend or something like that. Really, I'd probably liken it to that, just with better weather.
yeah. It's got. I think we've got 1.2 mil or something like that. It's like just a little bit behind Perth. Or like actually, to be fair, I looked at Perth when we went to Perth. The city's actually quite large, so compare that to Adelaide, it still trumps it by a fair bit. But I think we're bigger than maybe Tasmania, NT. But it's definitely not huge. But look, it's good we've got Barossa, we've got the wineries over here, and
you've got lovely wineries over there, mate.
Yeah, that's what we've got. We've got that going for us, and we've obviously got Adelaide United as well, which is been up and down A-League team. Not like I watch much of it, but we've got like a young lad, Aaron Kunda, who's just signed for Bayern Munich. So keep an eye out for him for next season. He'll probably get loaned out to some second-rate club, but he's been decent.
Basildon. It'll be a Basildon next year.
Something like that. Yeah, for
sure. Talking about A-League quickly, right? What's your thoughts on the A-League? Just quick.
Quickly. I mean, look, there's been times it was good. Like I liked when they used to have like their Del Piero, Heskey. We've signed various other like, different big name players, and I think that's what brings people to come watch the games. It's slow. The people aren't turning up to it as much. I don't know. You want it to do well, and you want these players to do well and then move on.
Yeah.
But it's got a lot of growth and a lot of development needs to occur, I guess. People would argue you need a second division to make it a bit more competitive, but there's not enough money in it. So, I think we're getting some good youth coming through, and then they're then moving off to sort of other countries. So I guess that's the plan for the A-League, is build good players, move them off to other countries so they can sort of do well. So we're not really keeping that many great players in here, but I mean, to be honest, I prefer going to watch an AFL game over an A-League game in terms of what you get from it. So
happy days, mate. Hello to everyone in the chat. I think this is one of your boys, Eric. Is this one of yours?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, that's one of the Adelaide Hammers faithful. Definitely one of the people that rocks up to all the meets. Basically, I don't think he's missed one really. And him and I will sit together and we'll have a good chat. We'll complain. Pretty much, yeah. So he's my go-to guy, really in the group.
Mr. Mace, nice to have you on board, mate. Thanks for letting me know about the sound. I'm glad I don't have to turn it off because I'll be sweltering otherwise. And Darren is over from he's watching live from Thailand. So finally, you get to see a bit of a live show, mate. Happy days. Just quickly then, right, mate. Let's get into the stateside of Adelaide Hammers. Adelaide Hammers group, should I say? Is that the name of the group?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, we I can't remember how long we've been around. There was a little reminder. One of the people that started it put it out, maybe 15 years around that. Somebody's going to tell me I'm wrong, I'm sure, but definitely before I was 18. So maybe 20 years. So it started, I believe, by Paul and Kay Southerton, a couple other people as well. They just saw, obviously, there was no meets really happening. Obviously, we've got a bit of a small population here, but not really many meets happening. They wanted to organise something that would be consistent. They started up the group. It's sort of been like they ran quite a few of the meets, helped out. They've sort of stepped back in the last quite a few years. One of the other people who usually comes and does a lot of it, he's also very well connected to Adelaide United, is Glenn Clizold. Like, he would do a lot of the meets, organise them, manage all them. But he's sort of stepped back. So the last like maybe 5 years, it's been me that's taken the reins of that, I'd say. And it's good. Like, I think we've got members. Do we have? About 480 members. So they're not all from Adelaide, obviously, but got a good little group. Good for, you know, being able to talk on the forums whenever we put some posts on there. It's a good mix of Moyes in, Moyes out, etc. Bit of arguments here and there, but it's all part of everybody wants what's best for the club. So
yeah. I think going on to that quickly, what an amazing group you've got there. 400 odd people on the other side of the world, for a football team that we haven't been the best for many years. Do you know what I mean? We've obviously started to come good, but we're talking about a little town on the other side of the world in Australia, Adelaide, small city, and you've got a fair few members there, mate. And so how many meets roughly do you have a season? And just explain to us what a meet is. So for any of our UK listeners, a meet for us in Australia. So let us know.
Yeah, well, a meat's a type of food. No, I'm kidding.
That was good.
Yeah. No, so a meet is obviously a gathering for, like, being in Australia. It's not like you can go down to the pub for a 3 p.m. kickoff and you're going to go watch, you know, West Ham play. Like, we have to organise these meets. Otherwise, we just all watch it on our couches. Usually the games span from anywhere from 9 p.m. in the start of the season to then like maybe 6:30 a.m. And a meet's basically where we organise it through Facebook, through whatever platform, and we all sort of catch up, have it at a pub. Some of us in different states are lucky enough to have good connections to pubs and have a really good rapport with them. Some of us don't, and we've had some absolute dramas, especially in Adelaide, around having meets, but yeah, basically we'll all sit there, we get the chants going. It's a good time to connect with people as well. I think what's good as well is just like hearing people's stories and how they become a West Ham fan. So like for a lot of people,
it's a bit like AA, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
No,
yeah.
I mean,
Why are you here?
Yeah. Like, what made you decide to do this? Yeah, well, my name's Ryan and I'm a West Ham fan. But yeah, I completely understand. So with the meets as well, it's like it's a hard slog though, mate, isn't it? Especially at the moment where we've been having the Sunday games. Most of them are Monday mornings for us, which is like normally about 12 a.m., which it will be tonight for us, 12 a.m. tonight for us. So it's hard. It's been hard over the last 3 years. So European football has really altered the way that us people in Australia do get together and watch the games, doesn't it, really?
Well, that's it. I mean, that as soon as we've gone European, it's been Sunday night games. Very rarely we've got a Saturday. If so, it's been like an 11:30 p.m. kickoff. And to answer your question, we probably do around, it really depends. Sometimes we get a bit more, but anywhere from 2 to 4 to 5 meets, I'd say, per year. That's probably the average. It's really dependent on, you know, like I said, it was different when before we were in Europe, we had this run where we were getting 9 p.m. kickoffs all the time. And it was much easier. But like I said, you know, we had poor venues then. We had a venue for about 2 years because I had a mate that sort of like was connected to this pub and it was right next to a club called Red Square. And if you're not from Adelaide, it's the dingiest, you know, like club pretty much going, sort of like 16 to 18-year-old sort of club. But yeah, it didn't work out well, but we've just had to keep pushing around trying to find a venue, which has been difficult.
Right. And talking about venues, mate, I don't know if you've got any Adelaide Hammers on tonight. So if you're in the chat, make sure that you get talking. We'll be putting questions up later for Guy anyway. There was a massive thing that we saw on Facebook on this side in the Brisbane Hammers from you guys. We're very fortunate. We've got a Pig and Whistle as a venue that we can go and watch our games when we have our meets, which is amazing for us. Like, we've got a really good venue. We do our podcast from there on the Monday. We do the pub show from there, which is great. But you had a bit of a trouble, didn't you? So you just you want to explain to us the situation of that? Because I think it's quite funny. Facebook is an absolute world for us West Ham fans here in Australia, because watching the bitching and the fucking back and forth between the two, it's quite funny to watch. But this one really got me. So do you want to explain the story, mate?
Yeah. So look, we managed. The reality is that like you said, we're not fortunate enough to be able to have a good pub like yours to be able to go to. Like, we really struggle. We've got one pub we can use that, but they're only open till a certain time anyway. Basically, our kickoff was a 4:30 a.m. and the casino wouldn't do the game for the European final. So we eventually managed to find a pub. Like, luckily, some of the supporters like put in the hard yards, and like I called up about 100 places. Somebody else called up like a pub just off Adelaide. We found a pub. We had to get in before 3 a.m. because in Adelaide we've got these lockout laws. So within in before 3 a.m. for this pub. They were really good with us. They were selling like these good crafty beers, doing their absolute best. We were like, maybe we've found a new home here. It's called like the West Debbie. We were like, this has got to be it. It's just off the city. Happy days, right? So we organized, like, I decided, okay, let's keep the momentum going. Like, we've won the final. Let's do another meet. I've organized the West Debbie again. I've kept it in-house. Obviously just on the group. They're not advertising it. And I get a call from the bar manager.
This is the actual West Ham Adelaide Hammers group that you've put it on, yeah?
Yeah.
So this is just West Ham fans trying to get together to watch the game.
Yeah. So
it
just us trying to get
outsiders.
Together.
Yeah.
No, that's it. Just us. We have our own area. We would go down there. There might, it'd mix with how many people we get. Anywhere from 10 to 20, 30 people maybe. For the final, we got something close to 80, 90, which we were really happy with. But that's the average we get. Anyway, I get a call from the manager of the West Debbie. And he's like, I think somebody from your group has been calling Optus Sport. And I've gone like, what do you mean? And he's given me this rundown that basically somebody in our group had snitched and had called Optus Sport and told them that the West Debbie were going to play the game, which they thought it was fine because they didn't advertise it on their social media. They weren't using it as a means to get money. So we're playing it as like a private venue. But apparently, you can get away with that, but within Optus rules, you can't. So they were threatening to like be able to, they were sort of, the Optus bloke was saying you can't have the game unless you want to pay the money, and it costs pubs like $600 a month or something like that to have to play.
So commercial value, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. With obviously, like, we're not going to front that cost. So from then on, like, of course, I was completely pissed off because it takes me so long to find a venue that can have us. We've got a couple that can have us, but it's just not made for us. It's like there's other people there. There's everyone around. But, there's drunk people coming in that aren't West Ham fans. It's not the vibe. So I put it on the Facebook and I've gone, obviously there's like a snitch in our like midst, and it's sort of just gone off from there. And like everybody's, we're trying to work out who the snitch is. Of course, like eventually, like, I just have to find the funny value in it. So I'm just accusing, So I'm just accusing people, like my close friends in this group. People think that I'm being legitimate, but I guess it was just, I think I can't remember what somebody was calling it, something gate the other day. Debbie gate.
Yeah, me, pub gate.
Pub gate. Yeah, that's right. So we couldn't have it at the event. I ended up having it somewhere else, but I was just like, fuck sakes, man. Like, just so frustrating. So if anyone, can actually link us in with a good pub in Adelaide, and for some reason we're lucky with that, they can have us and, give us a space, then great. Otherwise, I know we just have to keep doing what we're doing. So, but it's been a bit of a nightmare with it.
And just following on from that, it's fucking hard, right, to get somewhere to watch it, get everyone to go, because West Ham fans, obviously in Adelaide, it's not just like down back at home in UK where there's pubs everywhere that play it at the same time, at perfect time to go to the pub, watch a game of football. It's hard because you're looking at like 12 o'clock at night, and people, it's hard to get everyone together. So then when you finally find somewhere, and then someone snitches on it like that, it's a fucking hard take, mate. Hard take.
I know. And it's been difficult, but I guess like it is what it is. I just wanted to know so bad who it was, just because I just think, why would you do that? Like, what value does that bring? But
no one likes a grass.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, but look, the community itself in the Adelaide Hammers is really good. Like, for the World Cup, we did like a oh no, for the Euro, was it? No, yeah, it was the World Cup. We did like a sort of a draw system where you put on a bit of I think it was like $5 each, and we did like a draw, and whoever won took the money home. We do tipping competitions. We didn't do it this year because my life's been hectic, so I forgot to organize it. But it is a lot to organize. But it's not really a chore. I enjoy doing it. I enjoy being able to catch up with people and trying to grow the community a little bit. And you're right. It's really hard to get people to want to come and effectively get out of bed. Like you're going to watch a game at 12 o'clock at night. Like, why would you really want to get out of bed, get out of your comfy sofa to come down to the city, have to deal with, like, especially for us being on the main street, go into a pub where there's other people like in their early 20s, drinking and being annoying, especially if you're wearing a West Ham shirt, they'll come over and chat to you. So it's difficult, but yeah.
I remember when fucking Lucas Neal used to play for him. Hey!
yeah, we get that. We get that. Or we get the Green Street Hooligans. I get that one a lot.
It's fucking tiresome, man. It's tiresome.
Yeah, or they'll tell me how much of a football fan they are and then tell me they support Man United. That's always another one. So, yeah, it goes on.
That's nothing to shout about at the moment either.
Nah, I've been jealous.
Well, with Adelaide Hammers, when's your next meet, mate? Have you got anything set up yet, or are you still trying to find a pub? Or
nah, look, we haven't got anything set up as of yet. It's a busy time during like Christmas for people. I think it'll be. I'll have to look ahead in the fixtures and see what's happening around whether we have one that works for time. But it might be good if we do something. I really want to do something for the Europa League. Maybe do like an early morning game, get everybody down. We do have somebody in the group that actually works at a pub's connected to it. So I was going to try to hit him up and maybe do a bit of a breakfast sort of thing, like a bit easier. See if we can get a few people down for that, just to do something a little bit different. Yeah, for the last 16, like depending on who we draw.
I don't want to burst your bubble here, mate, and excuse the pun, but I'll be there for that.
Oh yeah,
I'm over in the UK for that one, mate. Both legs, so I'm buzzing for that. So if anyone wants to give me a ticket, let us know. That's fantastic, mate. Let's hope you get one anyway. Just going back into West Ham and Australian Hammers. Obviously, you was over in Perth, mate. What was your feelings on that, and how did you think the weekend went?
Well, I thought it was really good. I think the club, like, obviously Moyes didn't want to be there. Like, he didn't want to have everybody travel to Australia. That was a given. But I thought the 5 or 6 days or whatever, I thought it was really good. The games were good to watch. It was good that he brought out like a good squad as well. So overall, I was happy with it. I was happy. It was the first time I've been to Perth as well, so I was really impressed by like Optus Stadium.
Amazing stadium, mate, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was absolutely gobsmacked by like how good the stadium, like considering the capacity it had and how close it still was. Like it was a really good stadium, so I was happy with that. In terms of the West Ham meet,
90,000, did that?
Is that many, you reckon?
Is
that many?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure it is, but
I think it's at least 50. I think it's at least 50. It looked like it held heaps, but 50. But I want to check. But it's still obviously really good. And it was good because there was obviously so many West Ham fans down. I do obviously think that if we had the meet in Brisbane like it was supposed to be, we probably would have found an extra 30% worth of fans. But it's obviously another like conversation. I guess whoever bid the most for it got us down. So and I think you went to the West Ham Way events.
Yeah, I went to both events, mate. Yeah.
So I did the first one with them, and then the club contacted me as one of the people that ran the Adelaide Hammers and sort of got me to come out, and I sort of just thought I'd do something a little bit different, go out and do their thing, which was different, but it was much of the same really. But I did win a quiz and got a ball signed by all the players. So that was cool.
Happy days.
Yeah.
Nice one, mate.
Yeah, that was good.
But obviously the West Ham Way did their one, so we had Colton Cole, Martin Allen, and who was the Aussie guy? Richard Garcia. Yeah. So they were great guests. Obviously, I was a bit pissed, obviously, because I forgot who Richard Garcia was. But yeah, it was an awesome weekend. Do you want to go into the game that we had, mate?
The game? Yeah. Obviously, Ryan, you set up the charity game, which was really good. It was just raising funds for DT38. So that was fantastic. It was really good. And I think it was great as well, like to be able to, raise money and sort of be able to put the boots back on because it was the first time I played for a little while. But, we played against Spurs. We didn't really have much of an organizational skills before the game started. It was very much rock up, put your boots on, a little 5-minute warm up, and then just go out there. You and I both started, and I think the pace of the game completely dusted us in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It was so full on.
I think we were 3-0 down within about fucking 5 minutes. We'd given away a penalty in the first minute.
Yeah. Gave away I hate losing. And within 2 minutes, we've given away a pen, then conceded another couple of goals. You know what? And I thought as well when the Spurs supporters were warming up, I thought these guys all look fucking old. I thought there's absolutely no way we're going to lose these mugs, but they just kept getting down the line and then cutting in. And look, should we blame it on the defense considering we weren't playing there or what?
We can't really because our defender fucking scored 2 goals.
Yeah.
Probably can't do that. But yeah, it was a fantastic day though, wasn't it? We raised a lot of money and there was a lot of people there to watch. We had 2 news crews down. We had Optus Sport come down and coverage the game. It was a really good day. And obviously we went into the pub after, mate, didn't we?
Yeah. So we did a couple of pubs. We did the brewery first, didn't we? Did you come on to that?
We did the brewery first, yeah.
Yeah. So we did. So I was like with the game as well. I mean, you knew there was what we called the bloke Fat Romero. I remember him. He slid me, and my leg was absolutely aching. My neck was sore. Anyway, so I was in pain. Luckily, I thought I'll sort of aid that by medicating myself with alcohol.
So, and Guy, I've never had someone buy me so many fucking fireball shots in my life, mate. You wouldn't let me leave the bar.
Yeah. So we went out to, what was it called? Johnny Fox's, maybe? Is it
Johnny Fox's? Yes.
It was. So that was the pub, wasn't it? It was pretty dead when we walked in, but within 30 minutes, it was definitely pumping. Like
West Ham were massive, and we took over. That's what it was.
Yeah. And we had that old geezer who was like playing pool, and he was paro, but he absolutely sharked everybody, didn't he?
He did. Yeah, we couldn't win.
Yeah, he was so good. But yeah, we went beers.
That was it,
yeah. We went the beers and fireball combo. So I don't know how we sort of hang on, we've got somebody who commented how many hammers down.
Yeah, Kieran Devaney. Hello, mate. Nice to see you back in the chat, mate. Happy days. Go on, Guy.
Yeah, we got 470 members, mate, which is not too bad. Not that many come out to meets, but decent amount. So anyway, so we're sort of and in the pub, we're having a few beers and we just go like, fireball shots, we'll keep going. I love fireball. I can drink it. Like, I just love the taste of it. It's like Christmas to me. Yeah. You know what? It's so funny because, and then somebody who does another podcast, Will, he come down. So he was doing a bit for the, he come down to watch it as well. But he works for Sky or something like that. So he was, he came down, he was like, let's get fireball shots, keep going. And I was like, I'm drinking heaps of these and not feeling it. And I wasn't feeling it until I felt it. And that was it. And everybody was on the next level. You and I both ended up on a podcast and people were saying that you were, like, oh, Guy, you weren't too bad. But the other bloke, he was pretty drunk. Yeah. No, but you obviously held it a bit better than I did, I reckon.
I don't know why I went on that. So Will brought in his podcast into the pub we was all drinking in. There was like, I'm not joking, there must have been about 50 of us. And even David X came down and bought Martin Allen. So Martin Allen was on the piss with us. It was brilliant. He was great value, wasn't he? But so we did this podcast and I wasn't great on that one, but it made me think I need to redeem myself and make my own one. So that's why we're doing this now.
Yeah. So I don't remember having a conversation with Martin Allen, but apparently I was chewing his ear off. I do remember having somewhat of a conversation with X, but didn't remember much of it. Apparently he shouted me out in a couple of his podcast, a couple of his podcasts. So I must have been okay. I think I didn't embarrass myself too much, but either way, it is what it is.
Mate, at the end of the day, we was all very excited, weren't we? We had 5 days of West Ham in Perth on the other side of the world. We got to see our stars perform, and we beat Tottenham, and Skamaka even scored. So it was fucking brilliant. Happy days. It was
Yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah. It was fantastic. I mean, I ended up my mate Zach ended up taking me home back to his place because he lives in Perth, and I threw up in his ex partner's now, all in her candles. She had a whole bunch of candles. I've woke up and I've just opened up the drawer. I've grabbed these whatever is candle array, thrown up hash brown into them all, and then went back to sleep. So
Oh
um,
mate.
it was
Well, that's the
yeah, it
West
was just
Ham way, isn't it?
fantastic. Someone's got to do
We
it.
get on the piss. Get on the piss. We have a good time, and we be sick in candles, make them extra scented.
Yeah, classic. Good
All
times.
right. Well, that's a great little story of the Adelaide Hammers, mate, and fantastic. Thanks for coming on for that. But let's get into today's West Ham. What's your views at the moment on David Moyes, the current squad, and the positions that we're in at the moment? How do you think we're going? Is it as bad as what people think, or have you got a different view?
Look, we're playing the same football. We're playing the exact same way we were basically last year, except this time we're getting points. That's the difference. Um, the players we've got are we've done well to recruit. I mean, Alvarez has been amazing. We'll probably touch on that a little bit later. But in terms of Moyes, he's the best manager I've had in my lifetime. So, a complete credit to him. He grabbed us when we were imminent relegation, changed us around. He's got us playing a certain way. He's been able to be good with with the players. The way the club's run is different now. So complete credit. Got us a European trophy. We've been in Europe for the last 3 seasons, but I'm still saying Moyes out, which sounds crazy.
Fantastic. That's what I like to hear.
But I guess look, people can say
our viewers just went up then, Guy. To be honest,
yeah. I mean, if you watch the game, I mean, the thing is, being an Australian supporter, as an English supporter, you go to the games, you're investing your money, you're investing this, that. You're in there. Everybody loves football in England, but as a Australian fan, you're investing your lack of sleep. You're going on a Sunday night. I'm going to watch the game tonight at 12:30. If we lose, or if they give me a fucking heart attack, then I can't get to sleep for another 2 hours. I've got to go to work the next day.
Great.
It's hard. So you get so frustrated, and the quality of football that we're playing at the moment just isn't good enough. That's just the reality. With the players we've got, it's like we haven't got a plan, and we're really relying on what I say a lot in the group. We're relying on individual brilliance to win us games, and that's what's happening. We're getting players like Bowen or Kudos. They're creating things, or they're making something happen, or they're grinding to get us results. I think our expected goals is 1.3 or something like that. We're managing to just score out of nothing. We beat Spurs from just hard graft and grit. That's the word I use. It's grit. And Moyes, that's part of, someone's digging into me. We're sort of, we're getting, it's difficult because, like I said, the standard football we're playing with the players we've got, we're talking Lucas Paqueta, you got Kudos there, you got Bowen, you've got really good technical players. Some might even argue Ben Rama, you've got your Fornals, you've got, Alvarez in there, you've got good ball playing centre backs. And, we're just not really doing anything. And Eric makes a really good point in the comments there. Moyes out for league games. He's completely right, because it turns out in Europe that we can somehow pull together these good performances, but for league games we look terrible. And the reality is that the way that we're playing, it just seems like we're just getting lucky a little bit, and we're just getting a bit of the rub of the green. But it comes down to what you value in football, isn't it? Do you value us playing good football, or is it just about scraping along points? Because there's going to be, if we have Moyes forever, we're going to have seasons we might finish in the top 8, or there's going to be seasons we finish 17th. So, because that's how the football is played. So, and it's boring to watch. I watched the Man City Liverpool game at the early game, and then I watched us play, and watched us play Burnley.
It's chalk and cheese, mate, isn't it?
Yeah, it's two different worlds. We weren't even close. We were not even close. We looked lethargic, slow. void of ideas. But you've got, I guess, you're playing a certain game when you've got, Suchek in there and he's scoring, but you've got JWP and he's not really a creative or he's got some positives. I don't know. What do you think?
I would prefer JWP to be more forward, because in that Tottenham game, I thought he pressed really well, pressed high. He was a lot more combative than I thought he was, to be honest. For me, I'm one of these fans that I do get up and watch it in the mornings. And when I say mornings, I'm talking middle of the fucking night. So I value my enjoyment of football. I would say, like, I would want to see us play good football rather than just try and grind out a result. Because if I was just wanting that, I'd wake up in the morning and just look at my phone and go, oh, we've just fucking won 2-1, or oh yeah, we've won 1-0, or we've lost 2-0. Like, that's how. But I like watching football, and unfortunately for me at the moment, my football team doesn't play great football, so I end up watching a lot more other teams. I do watch a lot of other teams play football as well. I'm not just like I only watch West Ham. I do watch other football, and it's fucking hard to watch even teams like Luton have a go. You know what I mean?
Do you care? Do you care if we finished? Do you care like what position we finish? Do you think like does it really matter? Like for me, I don't care if we finish 8th every year. If we're playing good, attractive football, we're playing this really, exciting to watch. We're really giving it a go, and we're having a good run. Where we're really trying to play good football. It's not about. I'd rather us finish 8th than finish 4th, and end up, just running through, getting headers in, from the box or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, for me, I think it's a different ball game now. We're not talking about the old era where we'd get tonked 5-0, but the players that we had were completely different. Like, we have got a star-studded fucking team there. All we need to do is get someone at the helm that can actually drive the fucking ship. Like, and if we had that with the players that we've got, we don't have to settle for absolute boring batshit fucking football and grind out result or get tonked. Like, I'd rather see us go for a fast, progressive manager who's on the front foot, who can use these players in the right positions and actually know what they're doing with them. At the moment, I don't think Moyes does know what he's doing with them. I mean, even Paquetá, when he first come in, this is like an unbelievable player who everyone knew about, but he didn't know where to play him. It just baffles me how the man is that arrogant that he plays players out of position all the time. I just don't get it. So for me, it's football over a result. But I do believe that we get results with football if we've got another manager.
You bang on. And I think the argument that people say is be careful what you wish for, blah, blah, blah. Almost like you're either going to take Moyes and you're going to get this football, we're going to do okay, blah, blah, blah. Or we're going to get this other manager where we're going to finish 17th, but we're going to play, a certain way of playing. Like people like, remember Pellegrini, blah, blah, blah. To be fair, like Pellegrini, the way we were playing was terrible. But, all he spent was Anderson. The rest, we got all those loan signings, Joe Hart, Zabaleta. It's not. He spent 100 mil that season, but he didn't spend it fantastic. But I'm just making the point that
we got 4 nows as well.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so like we did okay with that, but I agree. It's not just like, oh, we tried this manager once, therefore let's go back to the old. You look at how, we want to model ourselves, I guess, how Brighton have done it, and we've been more successful than Brighton on paper, but Brighton have played better football and have a more sustainable method, I guess. Ours isn't sustainable. Like, if we lose a couple of players or make a couple of bad decisions, then we're gonna struggle, I think. So I guess the biggest fear is us getting relegated with a big wage bill, and that could happen if we continue to have Moyes. Do I think we're in threat this season? No, because there's 3 teams at the bottom that are garbage. But that could happen, I guess. And we're spending so much money now, and it's, I guess the money's changed and there's more money in the game, but compared to what we used to spend,
we're still spending a lot more than other people. Even so
we've got the 8th highest wage budget as well.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think, as you say, we're definitely not going to get relegated. That's for sure. But I think that's what saves his job every time. He's not in any position that he can lose Sullivan a lot of money. And I think if he's ever in that situation where he's going to lose Sullivan money, then we're going to see a different side to that. But as long as he's keeping us in the league, he will always remain in that job. But the contract is obviously up at the end of the season. What's your preference? What would you like to go for? Who would you want?
As in a manager?
Yeah.
You know, people ask this question, well, who would you get? Who would you get? Well, there's no real good managers that are really like lurking around at the moment. So it's hard to really pick. People shout out for Will Still. I think, is that his name?
No
Is that
chance.
from the, people say him. I don't know enough about him. I don't know enough of, like, to be honest, besides, you know, like, I don't know a huge amount of managers besides all the regular ones that keep getting chucked around 24/7. You know, you could argue, you know, people talk around maybe Scott Parker, but I'm a bit worried about that as well. Obviously I'd want somebody who's been successful. Yeah, but do I have an answer of who? Do you?
I'd love Alonso, mate. Alonso's got
Oh,
the
yeah, that's a great
starting connection. He's 20 games on the bounce or wins. He's got that relationship with Starting already. And there's talk that whoever is going to be coming in next has already signed. Who knows on that? It's just rumours, but I hope they've signed already while we're in the cups and we're doing well in the league, and we're not faltering just yet. But as soon as we start going out of cups and we look lackluster and the performances are shit, a manager's who's coming in is going to look at that and go, don't really fucking fancy that, especially if we start losing players. And that's my biggest fear with Moyes is he actually going to Moyes the fuck out of them and they end up wanting to leave? I'm probably going to more than likely say yes. But yeah, I'm going to say Alonso for me. If we could, that's the one that I'd want. Yeah.
So, you know, fantastic player, you know, in his day, and obviously doing really, really well at the moment. So, yeah, like, I agree with that. I think that'd be a good shout. I mean, I'm up for, I guess you got to take a risk, you know, with managers as well. I think the Brighton manager they had was doing well where he was, but wasn't exactly world class. So I think it's just a bit of like, and this is what I guess what we rely on Steindon for, isn't it? We rely on him for transfers, and then we relied on him for that, you know, building that infrastructure around as a club. So, you know, if you look at the signings that he's made compared to the signings that Moyes made, you know, Moyes has signed how many strikers? Maybe 2 strikers this for us. Jordan Hugel and Danny Ings, I believe.
And
Skamaka, which he didn't use to his strengths.
But I'm still glad about that one, to be honest.
Yeah, me too. I think he had a lot in his. He would have done really well this year, I think. But you know, I guess, but you know what, Bowen, he grafts, doesn't he? He really gives it his all. He's doing, he's like exactly what you want as a West. That's exactly what you want as a West Ham player. We don't expect people to be world beaters, but put in the hard yards, run.
And the rest will follow.
Yeah, shag Danny Dyer's daughter. And that's all you can really ask for. You know,
he's got the best of both worlds, mate. He's doing it all. He's
had twins and he scored, you know, the winner. And, you know, for me, people chuck around a legend. He's still not at that ranking. If he does his whole career here, finishes it off, then he's a legend for me. So,
and he's gonna top that top goal scorer thing without a doubt. He's pissed that. If he doesn't, I'd be surprised.
Yeah, but he's fantastic. The way that he plays. And he had a bit of dip in form last year for a little while, but I think he's a run in for the Euros next year if he keeps up his form. So yeah, he's been fantastic. So I think, look, whoever takes on the job, like, look at the nucleus of the squad we've got. It's fantastic. So it's a really, it's a good team. Like, the team on paper is quality. Like, defensively, we're covered. Emerson has went from being a real mid signing to now he's been so good since the cup final, hasn't he? I feel like he's been like a really good, solid player for us.
Oh, 100%, mate. 100%. But Bowen for me is like the poster boy for West Ham now. Like, and what he says and how he says things, he just tells me that he wants to stay here for a very long time, and I'd take that all day. Like, he's not someone who's looking to move on anytime soon. So hopefully, long may that continue, and we get as many goals out of him as we possibly can. And hopefully, we get a decent European campaign, and hopefully pick up another trophy. But fuck me, I don't know why I'm getting so greedy, because I've only had one in fucking 34 years of my life. So, but yeah, who knows? You know what I mean?
It's possible. Who knows?
We'll go through a couple of these comments, mate. So we've got Wasim Butt. Hello, mate. With the January transfer fast approaching, who would you like to get striker, and who would leave?
What do you think?
Danny Ings gone. Give Obama a bit more of minutes and opportunity for me. Who would I get in as a striker? I've always said Jonathan David. That's who I like.
Me too. That we've been linked with him so much in the last 2 to 3
But
years.
do you know what scares me about talking about a striker in January is Moyes is fucking manager still. Do you know what I mean? So, like, he's got no track record with a top quality striker. So I don't see the point. I'm not saying that I want to scrap this season off, but I kind of just want to see how he goes with it, mate. And once he's done for me. I'd rather him be gone anyway.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's really hard to pick up a good, I think it's really hard to pick up a really good striker in January. I can't think of money that we picked up. I think we picked up Simone Zaza in January, if you remember rightly, and that went terribly. So
he might as well have been the fucking fifth Teletubby, mate, with that name, and he fucking played like one and all.
He was horrible. But then he went on good next year, didn't he? He scored heaps.
They always do, mate. They always leave us and carry on and fucking score hatfuls of goals. It's ridiculous. JWP isn't a defensive midfielder. Moyes and his dinosaur tactics. Yeah, we just went through that. I think we both agree with you on that one, mate. 2 up, 2 down. Morning, lads. Up the Hammers. Happy days, mate. Darren Higgins, out for 18 months. Mr. Moyes, out completely correct people. Pay hard-earned cash. All round, England and expats get to watch pedestrian football. We must be mad. Yeah, we've just gone through that, and it is hard. I mean, Darren, I know where you are, mate, and it's hard to get up and watch them games, isn't it? You know, and it's even harder if you've actually got to pay for it. So it's not exactly fun.
Yeah, it's just been dross, hasn't
it?
Yeah.
2 up, 2 down. We'll defo get a Bundesliga manager. Let's hope so. I hope his name begins with an A.
Yeah.
Kent, morning, lads. Off to the game in a bit. Mate, have a great time. Enjoy your day. We'll be getting up in the 40-degree heat over here in Australia at probably about 11:30 to watch our game.
Yeah, I'll just stay up. My dad was born in Kent as well, FYI.
Oh, really? Whereabouts? Do you know?
We should have asked him that before I got on this. Is Chatham? Not Chatham, is it?
Is Medway Towns boy, is he?
I think so, yeah.
I know it well. My mum's actually over that way now. She's in Newington. So she's over in Kent as well.
Yeah, beautiful.
One of your boys, mate, Eric, what would it take for you guys to change Moyes in top 6 in the cup? I'll let you answer first, mate, and I'll answer straight after.
Top 6 in a cup. So I'll answer this question as in the football hasn't changed. Like, it's not like we've just changed and become really good. Top 6 in a cup. Do you know what? If you think about it, you can't sack a manager for finishing top 6 and winning a cup. You would be the only club that's ever done that, unless there was a succession plan and it was really scripted, like Moyes is staying at the club, which is what everybody's been saying. Moyes is staying at the club. He's retiring. He's being a part of the club. He's being part of the infrastructure still, which is what I'd love to see. In that case, I would. But, you know,
Ranieri got sacked after winning the Premier League, mate.
Well, he won the Premier League. Then I think they lost. They were losing games the following season, weren't they? He didn't get sacked straight after. So if we take it like, I look, obviously, that's really hard. I mean, at the end of the day, I probably would still. I would still, because if the football hasn't changed, it just wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter. And like I said, we're completely relying off players playing well. We're relying on players doing amazing, you know, making good runs. We're relying on players like Alvarez to be, in my opinion, just as good as Rice. You know, what he does in terms of as a defensive midfielder. It's not down to tactical now. So I don't think we'll be able to. I've changed. I'd still have him out, but I assume that based off the reports that are happening, he'll still be part of the club. And then obviously if it was like bringing in this manager who's just done this, i.e. what Alonso's doing at the moment, then nobody would say anything about it. So, but then of course, as soon as we'd start doing average with that manager, everybody would say, well, I wanted Moyes in. So that's just the fickle fans that we have. But, you know, I'd still have him out. What about you?
See ya. Thank you very much. But yeah, I'm happy that he's got us a cup. I'm happy that he saved us from that relegation time. But for me, I'm so interested in watching good football, mate. And I don't think that's ever going to happen. He's a stats man. He's a numbers man. That's what it is. Like, we're never going to see him play expansive football. And when we do, we're so fucking surprised. Arsenal game, where the fuck did that come from? Even in Europe the other night, it's like we're so surprised when we actually see him go on the front foot. And it's more frustrating that he does it because it's like, you can do it. So why are you going a little bit? Why aren't you going for it a bit more? It's just frustrating for me. I'm definitely Moyes out. I'm out. We'll just go through these last couple. 2 up, 2 downs going. Hopefully we get a win for you, mate. Ken Hammers, Zaza was a summer sign and didn't play after the first few games because would have had to sign him. Yeah, I do remember that actually.
Oh yeah, he was. Maybe Shamak then? Was Shamak was he a January signing? I'm dipping into my knowledge here. I'm pretty sure he was a January signing. He was also crap as well.
Who's this one?
When we signed Shamak.
Oh, Shamak, yeah. When he went Palace, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, the worst haircut I've ever seen.
He was fucking useless and all. Here we go. This is one from Alan Dunn. You're right, Ryan. The cost of Optus, Stam, Prime and beIN to watch our West Ham each year at the hours we sit up to just watch crap Moyes ball makes you wonder why we do it. Love of the club. Yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head there, mate. Alan, we've just been talking about how hard it is to get people together to watch the games over here in Australia. And when you've got to sit there in a pub with a load of other people in there and they're watching us fucking squirm and watching us play shit, it's quite hard to actually fucking stomach. So, yeah, it's definitely time and cost effective for us over here. Not as much as it is for people in the UK, but in terms of monetary, definitely not. But in terms of giving up our time to watch, it is tough, especially with sleep. But yeah, mate, let's finally. What's your thoughts on tonight's game against Wolves? What do you reckon?
I think Wolves have been up and down. I think if we look at the game we just played, it didn't look like we really got out of third gear. I just thought we just dominated the game from start to finish. And why I say that is because I think sometimes when we play European games, we look a bit lackluster the following game after that. And I think the players weren't too burnt. So, for me, I'm hoping for a win. I think if we take the momentum that we just had from the win before, then, then we should do all right. I mean, if we're looking at who he's going to play up front, he's probably just going to play Bowen up front again. He's pretty much going to stay with that sort of same team. 2 up, 2 down, just said 2-1 win. That's exactly what I was going to say as well. I think we'll score 2 goals. I think we're due for another corner goal, and which is pretty much Moyes' tactics. Make sure we get a corner, and then we rely on Souček or one of the big boys to knock it in because JWP's deliveries are usually exceptional. So, but look, I think hopefully we'll still get a win. The way that I look at it is each 3 points we get, I feel that I'm not hoping that people are saying, if we win this game, we'll be 6th. I'm just thinking, let's just win games to stay in the top half of the table. Let's just stay in the top half of the table until we can change it around and try to play some better football. Because, if we play the way we did against Fulham, then we'll lose again. So, but I don't know if we'll play like that again. I think I don't know. What do you think?
It's the return of the Mr. Craig Ballon Dawson tonight. So it'd be very interesting to see him up against Bowen, because I'm sure Bowen's going to start up front, up top, in the middle. I think we will get a result tonight. I do, and I've got a feeling Obama's going to get his first goal. Is it his first goal in the Prem?
I'm pretty sure it would be his first goal. I don't think he scored obviously in the conference, and then he had that own goal. I think he's done that twice with the old own goal or something like that, hasn't he?
Yeah. I think he gets his first Prem goal tonight. Then that's what my prediction is.
When would he come on then? He'd come on at the 88th minute, like Moyes does, or?
I think it's about the 91st. But yeah, I mean, I hope we do get a win tonight, and it's been an absolute pleasure having you on tonight, mate. I mean, obviously we've gone 55 minutes there, so it's been a good old chat. But yeah, Adelaide Hammers, do you want to say anything more about your group before you leave? And anyone who's in the chat that might be Adelaide Hammers, thank you very much for joining us anyway. But anything else you want to say there, mate?
No, look, obviously, thanks to the supporters that keep rocking up. Like I said, we've got Eric on at the moment. I know there's a few other people probably watching at the moment. So for us, I think it's just continuing to grow as in Adelaide. Like I said, we're going to have to do something about this pub situation, but we'll work on it. But like I said, we managed to get a lot of people out to Perth from Adelaide, which was really good. We've got a good supporters group considering how small we are as a state. So long may the good times continue, I guess.
Brilliant, mate. And if there's anyone on the chat who knows an Adelaide pub in Australia, please get on to Guy. Let's help these boys out. Make sure they've got somewhere to go and watch the Mighty Hammers at stupid o'clock in the morning, because it is hard. But anyone that's watched tonight, please like and subscribe. So if you like the channel, please get involved. And yeah, obviously we've got some new subscribers on, and this will be a new show that we will be doing. So we're going to be going through the different states of Australia, and we'll be talking to different group members and see how they fare on their states. But yeah, mate, Guy, pleasure, mate. Thank you very much.
Thanks, mate, for having me on.
Great chat. Cheers, buddy. Thanks for everyone in the chat. Like and subscribe. Cheers.
Cheers, mate.